Authorities in Los Angeles continue to try and battle the flames that have flattened thousands of homes and claimed at least 10 lives, according to local officials. CTV News Ottawa checked in with former Ottawa residents who are living in Los Angeles.
Watching the devastation not only in Palisades but in Topanga. My friend Asmina's house is burnt down. I have so many friends whose houses have burnt down, and it's very surreal.
Thousands have been forced to evacuate and watch their homes burn on the news. The fight continues today as multiple fires threaten more of the Los Angeles metropolitan area. My guest this morning is Glenn McGillivray. He is with the Institute for Catastrophic Loss Reduction here in Ontario. He's also a professor at York University. Good morning to you, Glenn.
Good morning, Rosie.
Okay, so Glenn, why has this fire been so difficult to contain?
Basically, we're facing a firestorm situation. We see these quite regularly with wildland-urban interface fires or wildfires like this one. You get buildings catching fire. They catch other buildings on fire. You get an urban conflagration and what we call a firestorm. These are almost impossible to put out, particularly when winds are high and there's a lot of fuel. Very dry there, very warm. Just all the wrong conditions come together in such a way that makes this huge disaster.
How do the wildfires in Los Angeles, how do they compare to other wildfires that we've seen make headlines around the world?
Yeah, so, of course, we've seen a lot of these fires over the last while, particularly in California. Up here in Canada, we've experienced Jasper and Fort McMurray and Slave Lake. We see them in Australia. But it's not too often that we get these types of fires in a large urban metropolis like the LA County area. I don't know, we have 6 or 7 considerable fires burning there right now. Very densely populated, houses very close together, lots of infrastructure. It's not too often we get a big fire like this in such a huge urban area.
Glenn, you mentioned Jasper, Fort McMurray, Slave Lake. Those wildfires there were particularly devastating. I mean, how is Canada prepared to handle a situation like this? Are we prepared?
We do a pretty good job at beating back fire. Once in a while it gets into town. One of the things we don't talk enough about in Canada is fire getting into a large urban area like, let's say, Vancouver or North Van or even in Edmonton. And I know the fire chief in Edmonton has warned about this possibility, particularly with the wooded river valley that goes right through the city. There has been some fires down in that valley before, nothing like this, of course. But we have to talk about this more. We have to talk not just about our medium and small communities, but our large urban centers as well, and whether they're at risk of this type of thing.
What can we do to make our communities more resilient to wildfires should we see a situation like this in our communities?
Yeah, so this is the frustrating thing. We know exactly how to build structures that make them more resilient to wildfire. It's not a mystery. We know what to do. And they're going to do it in Jasper, actually, when they're rebuilding. The federal government has ordered that certain measures be taken to rebuild there. So the science is very strong and we know what's going on. We just don't do it. And so we have to get on with it. We'd like to see Canada have a wildland urban interface building code. There's no country in the world that has a building code for wildfire. There's places like California that do, but not countries. We'd like to see one here in Canada. Another thing we'd like to look at, or we should look at, is urban planning. If you look at LA County right now, you have homes built on very steep slopes, which is very dangerous. You have homes built very close together with very narrow streets. These are urban planning issues that don't really work well with wildland urban interface fires or wildfires. These are some of the types of things that we have to start thinking about.
Glenn, taking a look at the wildfires in Los Angeles, and from what you know, how would you rate this wildfire, this catastrophe happening right now in Los Angeles in terms of all the wildfires that we've seen over the past couple of years?
Yeah, this is a biggie. The losses are going to be easily in the tens of billions of dollars, not including, of course, the horrible loss of life. Massive interruption to business, great damage to infrastructure, to water systems, things of this nature. LA County won't be the same for a long, long time.
Glenn McGillivray, We're really glad that you can come on and just break this down. It's really devastating in Los Angeles, what's happening right now. Glenn McGillivray, Institute for Catastrophic Loss Reduction Director. Thanks again for coming on this morning.
Thank you.